Hey, welders. Martin's Metal Art here. Just want to go over some product reviews, welding product reviews. Start with this welding coat that I got on right now. Black Stallion. They're about 35 bucks. I've had the nice blue Miller welding. I call it a coat. It's heavy shirt, whatever you want to call it. Absolute disaster with the Millers. Don't blame me, Miller. I couldn't get the buttons apart. I mean, I'm a fairly strong dude. I lift metal all day. I had two of them. At some point, the actual buttons pulled away from the fabric. That's how tight the buttons were. So, I mean, how do you stretch out a button? Or you ding? I don't know. For 30 bucks, you shouldn't have to deal with that. You want something you could throw on really quick, take off really quick. Anyway, this brand, this Black Stallion, I don't know if you can see it all. It's got the right snaps in the right spot. It's got the perfect collar, for when you got the dingleberries dancing down your shirt. It's got a nice little spot to put a marker. As you guys, learn in the trades, if you're a carpenter, you want bags on. The last thing you want is a welder to have any place for hot sparks to land that's attached to your body. So anyway, I typically, spring, summer, fall, I weld in shorts most of the time. I'm usually up on a table. I'm not laying down. If I have to protect myself, with something like I'm going to grind all day or something like that, I'm going to put some type of leather smock on to just protect this thing. I think I've washed this thing 4 times now, which means, it's not like I wash these things every day. It's not like I wash these things every week. I'm lucky to wash these things once a month. So let's say every 3 months I wash it. They hold up just fantastic. The best welding shirt I have owned, Black Stallion. So you see that label right there. Anyway, pretty cool. I want to talk about a helmet. We have all gone through, if you've been welding for a while, I'm not the guy that puts his helmet down all day long. I'm more of a fabricator, so it's on, off, cut, plasma cut, grind, sand, tack it together, mock something up, then put the helmet down and weld and make sure everything's nice and straight and plumb and everything else. But that's when you're going to actually weld for like a solid hour is a long time for me. Love the auto darkening feature. For the welders out there that have heard the rumor that the auto darkening is bad for your eyes, check out AVE. He's this cat out of Canada that reviews all sorts of different things. He's got all sorts of sensitivity things, and one of the things he did was to debunk that myth that an auto darkening helmet is dangerous. It came away with it absolutely spot on. This is the way to go, especially if you're mocking something up, or you need to keep your be able to tack all these different little parts and all these different little spots, and you don't want to sit there and keep flopping your head up and down. We're all going to have neck problems from doing that. Now I can understand if you want something nice and solid and you tip your head down and then you weld for 20 minutes. That's different. This is for a fabricator. The Lincoln, by far, this is the best one I've come across. I can tell you right now, one of the features it has, you can see that on the inside right there. Let's see, focus in on that right there. You take a picture of that in your cell phone, and next time you're at the welding supply place, you're ordering from the Amazonians, it's got the list of the parts you need, for replacement parts. It doesn't eat up batteries. That's the other beauty of this thing. One battery every 6 months or so. I got a couple in my truck just in case it goes out on me. But I've had the Miller brand, really nice. Constantly was eating batteries, probably every 2 months, every 3 months. If you left it in the sun, holy shit, it was dead. So anyway, the other nice thing about this is it's clear. It's not that green outer space look. The technology in these things is absolutely incredible. It is a clear, you keep the lenses clean and changed out every now and then, and don't rub your greasy fingers over it to try to wipe the dust off, and don't set it down someplace where the grinder's going to kick a bunch of dust toward it. It's remarkably clear. The best gloves that I've found, hey, any gloves are good. I don't use the real thin ones. I'm just not that good. I want a little bit more protection. These still do get hot. I mean, the biggest problem with gloves right now is the amount of oil they put on metal. It's going to get on your gloves, and it attracts the heat. I think it keeps the heat. It makes a hotter glove. If you keep your gloves away from your sanders, you can see the little tip on that one's a little bit fried. They'll last for a long time. If you're like me, you've got 9 million right-handed gloves and no left-handed gloves. I go through a pair of gloves a month. It takes maybe an hour to break these in. Compared to some of the other brands, they're not the big, thick, bulky, really soft leather ones. Anyway, Tillman makes these. I'm a firm believer in these. They're my favorite welding gloves. They come in black. They come in white. If you're sloppy like me, you got pairs of both all the time. Let's see. What else do you need to know? One thing here. The Welpers, you could find these nice, cheap on Amazon and everything else, and a really good pair of Welpers. If you buy the cheap ones, believe it or not, they're trash. Absolute trash. Will they work? Yes. If you need to cut wire or cut anything with this little thing right here, unless you buy the good ones, I'll show you the good pair. The good pair is from Vice Grip. I could cut all day long with that little thing. Okay, if I for some reason the other ones, you cut a piece of welding wire, even welding wire, it puts a little dent in it. These are really nice. So anyway, I would recommend, if you're gonna, if you got a chance to spend $10 on a pair of Welpers, or a chance to spend $20 on a pair of Welpers, your $20 Welpers are gonna work much better. These are from Vice Grip, so you can't beat. Certain people make great brands. I imagine these are still Chinesium something, but they work really, really well, and they're going to last me 10 times longer. And the more you're around Welpers, the more you realize that you need them for everything. So, these two tips right here, they're if you change as many discs on your cutoff wheel and your sanders as possible, every now and then, usually I can just break it with my hands without a problem. If the thing jams for some reason, that basically, locks in right there, and this is how you would take off, that. So, these things, I've got 5 pairs of these. They're all around the shop. They're just like chalk or markers. They're tape measures. They're never with that, never, I don't have to walk any more than 10 feet for them. So they're a great product. Flap discs. Flap discs have come a long way. I get my flap discs off of Amazon. I buy them 50 at a time. I fly through these things. They're nice. They're convenient. They take off a lot of metal. Don't go cheap. If you see some that are like, $1 a piece or something like that, that's what you're going to get. You're going to touch metal to those things, and they're going to fly through it, right away. A good one's going to last you a couple hours. Maybe not a couple hours, but it depends on what you're using it for. I don't care about the grit. I never care about the grit. I just, if I need to take a lot of metal off, I put a lot of pressure on. If I want to take, basically polish it, then I, ease the pressure up, and I can pretty much get every scratch line out of it just by easing the pressure up. So anyway, nice flap discs. I'm no longer put the little disc on. I've made some videos about, how if you touch, just that flat disc, to a sharp edge, the thing would just blow apart. I had a buddy stick one in his arm, with that flat disc. The flap discs, you can do things. It'll catch an edge. It will not fly apart. It'll sand. It's worth it. Great product. Sanders. I am a Bosch guy. And the reason I'm a Bosch guy is because I bought Bosch tools. And now if you got Bosch tools, you got lots of batteries. And if you got lots of batteries, you're not going to go from Bosch to DeWalt to Old Milwaukee to whatever, Ryobi or whoever. You stick with the same thing. Great luck with the Bosch. I mean, I've heard bad things about them, and that AVE guy will take them apart and show you all the cheap components and this and that. If you're a welder and if you're a fabricator and if you try to make things look nice, you're going to go through, yeah, I would budget, $150 a year just in Sanders. It's going to happen. They're going to start getting loud. That means the bearings are going out. You could burn it up and get a little puff of smoke, and then you throw it in the trash. So anyway, but the batteries are good. I love the cordless ones. If I'm going to grind for a while, I'm going to plug it in. A little more power. If I'm just going to fabricate and work around a large area, I've got 2 or 3 of these cordless ones. Fantastic tools. Shop dogs. Let's talk about shop dogs. Okay, the best shop dog in the world is not a border collie that always has a ball at your feet, all right? The best shop dog in the world is somebody that you can throw a blanket down in the corner and he'll sit there all day long and not make a sound, all right? But if you need a little distraction and a little entertainment, that's Benny. Benny wants the ball. Let's see if we can give you a good example. Last but not least, if you do have a shop dog, look at the size of that thing. Giant niblet. I don't know where I got this. Anyway, it's got to be 60 degrees. If you're a welder, golfer like I am, this is the key. Okay? You need one of these. You need a nice rubber mat. And you need a nice ball. And the beauty of these balls with the holes in them is the dog can hear it. Okay? So it's weld for about 10 minutes, hit a ball. Weld for 20 minutes, hit a ball. There's the perfect shop dog. Sleeps all day long. Sleeps at least, how many hours you sleep, boaters? Boaters! How many hours you sleep? Probably 23 and a half hours a day. Anyway, he sleeps about 6. All right, that's my review of some of the equipment that I use. I'll have more later, but anyway, the giant niblet. Pick up golf, people. Greatest sport in the world.